Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're watching this. I hope everybody's doing great. I hope that you're enjoying. For those who have sprint sprint recess with your kiddos, I hope you're enjoying it, and having a good time. Um, and I hope that you're enjoying life as it is. Um, But today we're going to be talking about closing costs. Something, it's a topic that keeps coming back, and it will continue. And hopefully this video explains most of it. If you have a friend, if you have anybody that it might find this useful, please send it to them. But before that, let's get with our intro. Yes, closing costs is something that everybody has to deal with. Um, there are some exceptions, like if you're doing new construction, sometimes they help you out. The builder will cover certain amount of things that it could lighten the amount, reduce the amount that you're gonna be paying. So that's always good. And that's basically, oh, what does it look like? Let me see what's going on. Why is my screen looking like that? Let me see. Let me stop sharing. I want to make sure you guys get a good image. Or is it my screen that you guys see like that? How about this? This looks better. Yeah, this looks way better. But yeah, closing costs is something that most of us need to deal with. It's something that it's a cost. You're trying to buy a property, and there's people behind that. You just don't hand in your files and it goes ka-ching. Here, your loan is ready. There's a process. There's guidelines. That need to be met. There's a lot of paper being pushed around. If you have purchased a property and you get your lender telling you, I need this, oh, now I need this, now I need this, all of that is part of the closing cost, of your closing cost. People are at work, so I know that it could be irritating, eh, you know and I tell you, because when I purchased my property, it got irritated, and I do this for a living, you know. So I completely understand what you are experiencing, but just be a little bit patient. Understand that everything that is being done, it's for you, So hopefully it wasn't too bad of experience, but normally once you have most of your documents going, um, it should be an easy breeze. Hopefully there's a good underwriter. Understand this, guys. Understand this. And if you have any questions, please drop them off. This is a live. It does, even after I'll normally review it, I get notifications. So if you have a questions, I'll be more than happy to help. You have your lender, and then the lender has a processor. Processor is the one that collects all the information, additional documents that they might need, they miss, or more clarifications on anything. After that, you pass it to your underwriter. Your underwriter is the one that reviews everything and submits the file for final approval and all of that, right? And within all this movement, it's when certain documents get missed, certain documents get required, it goes back and forth, and you are the person in common that everybody's asking you. I need tax returns, I need bank statements, I need, why are you showing a $2,000 deposit in your account? Why was the receipt that you just sold the car, where's that receipt? You know, and those things get annoying. But this is what you're paying for. When closing costs, these people are doing a service to get your loan prepared. But let's break down more, where we stand with closing costs. So you go introduction, like, ever wonder what exactly goes into your closing costs when buying or selling a home? We'll be covering sellers as well. Many buyers get caught off guard by these fees, and today we are going to break them down. Okay, so one thing that we want to keep in mind, that is, there's a down payment, right? And then there's closing costs. Down payment and then closing costs. Okay, they both go together, but at the same time they're separate. Your down payment will go towards your loan. That's directly. So if you're giving 3.5 as a FHA, or you're giving 5%, or you're giving 10% or 15%, that it's all fine. Or you even giving 20, that it's fine. But remember, your down payment will go directly towards the loan. Okay? Closing costs. Closing costs, it's basically what's gonna prepare your loan. Okay, the requirements are going to require that does not go towards your loan. That goes to the people that worked, or things that need to get done your loan. Okay, so you need to understand that. All right, and don't think that, another question that I get all the time is that, oh, have the seller pay for it. It could be, you could do that. It could be negotiated, but it's not mandatory. It's not. So if you hear a lender tell you, "Oh, just have the seller pay for it," you can negotiate it. But I just want you to think of this, because a lot of my buyers think that it's a automatically, and it's not. It's not an automatically. The seller has their own side of closing costs. The seller has their own costs. Remember, so how is it that a seller is also going to pick up your slack? And if you're buying a house, you should be somewhat ready. Go get a down payment. Make sure that you do a down payment assistance if you need help. You should be somewhat ready to purchase a house. Okay, if you're relying on the seller to pay your closing costs, we should reevaluate this. That's just pure. That's my perspective. There's other agents that are diehards. Like, don't worry, you don't have to pay nothing out of pocket. Yes, there's programs for that. Absolutely, and I think we covered that a few weeks ago. Down payment assistance, all of that. Okay, but even if you qualify for a down payment assistance, even if you got your closing costs covered, you should be ready. You should have somewhat ready to, just in case these things do not pan out. Okay, so just letting you know. Okay, that's just my perspective. Other people might feel kind of different. What is the what closing costs cover? Closing costs cover the fees, expenses buyers and sellers pay to finalize real estate transaction. Exactly. Typically, they range between 2 to 5% of the home of the purchase. This is just to give you an idea. This is an average. I can't give you solid numbers. Why? Because it changes. Okay, each property is different. Each loan is different. Each house is different. Taxes are different. So I'll be making myself kind of silly if I tell you you're gonna be paying $1,000, you shouldn't be paying no more than $1,000. And then if you watch this video and then you go over there and argue with your lender or agent, it's like, oh, Danny, the realtor said it shouldn't be more than 1,000. Okay, this is 2025. If you want, depending what year you you end up watching this, numbers might change, but it should be generally where I'm at. Okay, I try to give a solid range. So that being said, let's go. Okay, let's do a whole breakdown. This is the buyers. Let's do a breakdown of what ideally gets covered. Now, there might be some extra stuff on your type of loan. This is just basically standard traditional loans. Now, things might be different if you're doing a uh, owner by owner. If you're doing a non-traditional loan, then fees are either high, or you might have additional things that are not here. But just FYI, okay? um loan origination fee, it's from 0.5 to 1% of the amount. Appraisal, this is what a lot of people don't understand. Okay, there's appraisal. Somebody needs to go and look at your house and see what it's worth. Okay, which is a good thing. You don't want to buy something that is not worth, or maybe you get more room to negotiate. I've seen this numerous times. It's gonna cost you 400 to 600. Now it could be more. If you're buying a mansion, it's gonna be definitely more. If you're buying a big house, it might be within the 600. Okay. So these is questions that you could also ask your lender. Okay, how much are you charging? How much is the going rate for an appraisal? Okay, your credit report, it's gonna be around right here, 300 to 330 to 50. Underwriter fees, this is the people that are organizing your file. This is the people that are putting everything together. Okay. um the survey, this is something, it could be less. If you it depends, guys. It really depends of the property. If you're buying a small property, it probably is 400, 500. But things are going up in prices, and unfortunately it's gonna affect every single penny that comes out of you. Okay. Title insurance, this is this is a must. This comes from the title company. And there's also title company fees. That's why everything gets add up together. Escrow fees, like I said. Escrow fees 500 to 2,000. Property prepaid. So there's a thing that most lenders have you prepay your property taxes. Okay, some of them do it a year, some of them do it 6 months, but this is when you're paying in advance. Same thing with your mortgage. Some of them have you pay 1 or 2 months in advance. Okay, and they do that to give you some to help the loan pass. That's one. And also just to give you some time to balance your new bills. Okay, because this is, for many people, this is, you never had a home, so you're gonna need to adjust. Okay, because side note, there is cost just to maintain a house. It's not that you bought a house and then like everything's gonna fix itself. No, you need somebody to do your landscape. If you have a pool, you're gonna have to need somebody. You're either gonna learn, or you're gonna hire somebody. You got your regular thing, you got your gas, electricity, all that stuff. I don't want to get sidetracked, but what I'm trying to say here is there's a cost. And the reason they make you pay sometimes months in advance, the most I've seen is 3 months in advance, right? But normally it's 1 or 2. They make you pay your mortgage in advance. So when you say, hey, when is my first payment due, they probably tell you, oh, if you purchase in January, they probably tell you, oh, it's not until the end of March. Okay, so then it will be April. But just to clarify, it might change. Okay. So your home insurance. There's another thing. Home insurance. Home insurance is high. Okay, it's 2025, and insurance is high. I have people calling me. I have past clients calling me all the time, telling me what are the insurance going at. Let me. Hope this is better. Yeah, I think this is better. Let me see. There you go. There you go. People are also asking me home insurance. I have clients calling me. I give them my contacts. Hopefully they, get something. Mortgage insurance. This is another thing. This is also known as PMI. Okay. If you're buying FHA, most likely you have a PMI. Okay. If you want to eliminate the PMI because there's an extra cost, uh, before it was removed at a certain point. I think if your loan reached less than 20% of its original, it will come off. But now they changed it that it's gonna stay there. It's gonna stay there, and it's an extra cost, and it increases your monthly. Okay, so yeah, that's another thing. And then recurring fees, that's 50. 300 is too much, but also depends. Each title is different. Each state is different. I know I've seen record fees. I even seen them $35. I even saw them like for $15. But I'd rather tell you 50 or 300 so you could be what's going on. Of course, you should always advise that you should always talk to your lender and ask them if they could give you a breakdown of their fees, of their closing fees. What is it that they're charging you, so you could have an idea. Most lenders are gonna tell you generally it's gonna cost you from $7,000 to $8,000 to $9,000 closing costs, just to give you a number. Okay, but I don't want you to rely on that number. I want you to rely on when you talk to him on the phone, when they doing all the credits and asking you all these questions. You ask questions. You just like, how much is gonna cost me just for the closing costs? And they're gonna tell you, well, ma'am, Mr., Mrs., it's gonna cost you 6,000, or it's gonna cost you 9,000. It's gonna cost you 10,000. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Can I get a breakdown of a sheet? And they're like, oh, we really don't have one, whatever. Like, I need to have something so I have an idea what is it that you're charging me. You just met this person. So if they don't want to give you one, then you might want to consider someone else that is more disclosed, more transparent. But that's just me. Okay. I always like my clients to be fully aware of everything, so this way nobody gets no hidden surprises. That's what I'm trying to avoid. If you're a seller, right? Most of the things. Let me see. It went. Moving on to the seller real quick. Real estate. If you're thinking of selling, this is a breakdown of how much you're gonna be paying. Your commission for the realtor, and then you got title insurance. Now this is negotiable. Okay. But most of the time, sellers are gonna be paying for this. Okay. Transfer taxes. So normally what the title company does, depending on the time that you're closing, depending on the time in the calendar, the seller will give credit to the buyer on paying the taxes of the year. Okay. So When that happens, that gets deducted from your proceeds. And you got escrow fees. This is just title company, uh, property, prorated, any back taxes, anything like that. Home warranty. This is also negotiable. HOA fees. This is somewhat negotiable. Okay, so just to clarify. Okay. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna touch on something that most buyers have a hard time understanding. Okay, and it's like when you start the process of purchasing a home, there's fees there too. And these fees are not reimbursable. Okay, understand that. Once you go into contract, well, I'll take this back. Your some of it are gonna be reimbursable, not all of it. But let's go. Earnest money is 1%, 1 to 3% of the home price. Okay, what is earnest money? It's a money that you put in as good faith to secure your property. Example, you're thinking of buying a property that costs 200,000. They accept your offer. There's certain amount. I even forgot the option period. Um, you're gonna deposit. You're gonna give to the title company 1% of the property. If it says 200,000, then it's gonna be $2,000 will go to the title company, not to the seller. It goes to the title company, not to the agent. It goes to the title company. They hold it along with your option period. Option period could be anywhere from 200 to $300. Okay, and then if you choose to, terminate the property, if you choose to terminate the contract, then you could exercise your option period, um, and then you get your $2,000 back, but you will lose the option period amount, which is going to be 200 from 300, around that range during this time. Okay, so now you lost 300, and then you got your option period. Okay, your option period. I'm sorry. Then you have your home inspections. That's gonna cost you 300 from 500, more or less. Okay, if you and then you have your inspection. If you choose to terminate, then that money is out the door as well. That's not reimbursable. Okay. Your credit report. Most lenders don't run it. Most lenders don't charge for this. But they do charge it at the end. So it's not really your loss, but if you have a lender charging you to run credit, um, that's that's yeah, so that's a fee. So just be FYI. I'm not saying to be scared to submit an offer. I'm not saying to be, just know what you want. When it makes it so easy to get a house when you know when you want. Try to narrow it down as much as you can. So when you see, if you're looking for a one story, then don't be looking at two stories. If you're open to the idea, so then include, maybe, I don't know yet, so have both of them. But don't be swinging around. You're making everybody's job more difficult. It's just the truth. You're making everybody's job, because now the agent doesn't know what to show you, because now you're like everywhere. Sit down, 30 minutes, speak it with your partner, and see, what do we want. Do we want a 3 bedroom? Do we want a 4 bedroom? Do you want tiles? Do we want carpet? Do we mind having carpet? What are we willing to uh sacrifice when it comes down to it? Are you know this is super important. It's just, believe me, it's gonna help. It's gonna help. Okay, for my sellers, this is optional. Pre-listing home inspection. This is optional if you want to do it. I recommend it. It has helped some of my clients. Repairs, yes, I definitely suggest you having repair the property. This is helpful. Staging, yeah, staging. I have a client that just they staged the house with their own stuff, took pictures. We took pictures and everything, and then after that they started moving everything. Because they're in the process of moving out, and I think it worked very well. It saves them money, and so. But maybe you don't have that option. Um, Another option would be getting a stage that's the most expensive, or you also have digital staging nowadays. They do a decent job on that. Uh, Professional photos and marketing. This doesn't fall. All realtors work differently. I normally pick up this cost. So it all depends on the realtor that you are hiring. But if you're doing by seller by owner, sell by owner, then yeah, this is something that you're gonna have to pick up. But yeah, guys, be ready, man. Just be ready. Don't get scared. Closing costs can add up, but be prepared and ensure the smooth transaction. This is the most thing. It's true. Just be ready for. Don't be depending on sellers paying what is your responsibility. If it happens, great. Good. You get yourself, you you get to save. You get to save on certain things. That's awesome. You can negotiate. That is awesome. But don't go in expectation that, oh, he needs to pay for my stuff. That's not how it works. Real reality. It just doesn't. Buyer's budget for these expensive costs. Yes, I will suggest that you speak with your lender and make sure that you have that. What's those itemization, and what does it cost is a must. Sellers be aware of closing expenses. Of closing expensive. That's true. So guys, but hopefully this was hopeful. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Um, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. If you're looking to sell or buy, if you have a friend that this might be useful, send it to them. Or give me a buzz. Or send me a message. I'll be more than happy to assist you. And you guys, that'll be all for today. Till next week. Please follow, like, subscribe. It helps me a lot. And I see you till next time, guys. Have a good one. Ciao.